let's end on a somewhat of a comical, lighter note, even though it's sad. I know you talk about Nancy Mace. I do all the time. Nancy Mace, by the way, on the Piers Morgan show, accused me of being part of the reason why Charlie Kirk was executed, which is absurd. But, she says crazy things all the time, whether it be about me or anybody. And she's claiming that it wasn't her fault. She did nothing wrong at this airport, right, over the weekend, where witnesses say that she was screaming obscenities at airport police officers and TSA agents. She still hasn't given a reason why. It's so bizarre. Her behavior. I think she belongs in a mental institution, Ron. I think she's nuts. What do you make of this story?
She's like the most mentally ill Karen, in the world. It's just controversy constantly. All of her staff has quit since she took over. She had big drama with Trump a few years ago, and she went up to Trump Tower and filmed a video standing in front of it saying how much she loved Trump after he called her a stone cold loser and a liar. He trashed her at a rally because she said something bad about him or something. She criticized him. And so, Mace runs up and films a video in New York City in front of Trump Tower. Mace from South Carolina, by the way. So, it's just, her boyfriend, her fiance they have a breakup. They have lawsuits over their property. She's accusing the Attorney General of South Carolina of being a pedophile enabler and covering up all kinds of sex crime. Every interaction she has with any human is a drama. Remember, she claimed she was assaulted by a trans person at an event when all he did was shake her hand. And
she wore the arm sling the next day.
He came in with a sling, and the video showed he just went up and shook her hand. It's it never ends. So the airport thing is she expects to be treated like royalty. She pulls up to the airport. What the cops say, and this is multiple police officers, TSA agents, and American Airlines people. There's 20 witnesses and her on the other side, right? Yeah, and so what she said she was going to be there at 7:30 in a white BMW. Apparently, she showed up at 8 in a black BMW, and they didn't see her right away. And so she immediately starts freaking out, yelling and screaming that there's no security there to walk her through the airport, right? And she just F-bomb and everything. So that was 2.5 days ago. So I'm just she's back on a rampage, posting. Unfortunately, I have to follow her for my job, which some days is just miserable. And so I'm she's posted a lot about this. So I went back today and counted, and as of an hour ago, she had posted 97 tweets about the airport incident. 97.
I'm just speechless, man. She's absolutely out of her mind. Again, on a side note, I'm supposed to be getting Marjorie Taylor Greene on the show next week. I also have George Santos joining me on the show Thursday. What would you ask them? These are two people that are a little nutty. What would you ask these people if you had an opportunity to talk to? I'm not saying you would, but
George, I have a good question for Santos for sure.
Okay, what would that be?
But
he's coming on Thursday.
Greene knows me. I know her boyfriend. I talk to him all the time.
Brian Glenn.
And I actually just complimented her to him the other day because I complimented her because what I said is I know her district very well because I used to live in Georgia, and she is absolutely reflects what they think. And it shows I'm well aware she's one of the few Republicans who listens to her constituents. She literally does town halls and listens to what they say. And it's Republicans don't do that shit. So I gave her credit for that. I'm the reason why she's going against Trump right now on all this stuff, whether it's SNAP or healthcare or Epstein, is because her people in her district are saying that they're upset about those things.
Right.
And so when she sees, 75% of my district is mad about this, I'm not going to just side with Trump against them. And even though obviously I disagree with her on so much, but the point is she's not afraid to go against Trump if he's hurting her constituents.
I respect that.
She's the only one other than Thomas Massey,
Yeah. No, I respect that. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, as far as Santos goes, I mean, the part that I'm really curious about is his relationship with Stefanik, because the thing is, like, when he was running his campaign, that was 2022, and Stefanik so badly wanted to take the House, and because she wanted a spot in leadership, and she saw like our best shot is in New York. The polls were good for a lot of the seats, and Santos was in one of those races, but he was struggling to save money. And there was all these stories out there about him fraudulently lying about his resume, and so Stefanik swooped in and vouched for him and told all of her donors, which are upstate New York donors, to give money to Santos. And so a lot of Stefanik's friends and donors were the ones who were defrauded by Santos.
Right. I remember that.
They're his victims so my question is, like, what him would be like, when is the last time that you talked to Stefanik about your case? Did she say anything to you about the pardon? And do you, he's also asked, like, because he doesn't have to pay back all the victims, all the restitution, because the pardon.
Which I don't agree with. I don't agree with that at all.
And it's like, you claim that you're making all this money on cameos and everything else. Every time he's asked about it, he just says, "Oh, I'll work on paying them back." When can we check back in with George on how much he's paying the victims? Because the victims are mostly Republicans.
Right.
They're Republican political donors from New York that he's screwing over.
And my understanding is that it was Marjorie Taylor Greene that spoke to Donald Trump about this. And without Marjorie Taylor Greene, George Santos does not get a pardon. That's my understanding.
Because I also believe, you could ask him this, because my theory is the reason why he was trying so hard to get a pardon before this and couldn't get one while his case was pending all year was because I think Stefanik was the one that was blocking it.
I will ask him that on Thursday.
I would ask him that. What's his relationship with Stefanik? And does he think that she could have been one of the people that was blocking his pardon?
I will 100% ask him that. I spoke to him on the phone for about an hour yesterday. We were just talking about him in solitary confinement and among other things, but I will certainly ask him about that.
I also read all his little letters from prison, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I think what he did in some ways, and maybe you agree or disagree, in some ways is similar to what Michael Avenatti did. Blue collar crime, taking money from people. Some of the stuff that Michael Avenatti did was horrible. Some of the stuff that George Santos did is horrible. However, I believe if Michael Avenatti was a Republican, he would have been pardoned. I really believe that. And I'm not defending Michael Avenatti by any sense. But
the big question for Santos that everybody wants to know is he going to run for something?
I think he will. I think he craves the attention. You might find this hard to believe.
He's going to run against.
Well, that's another good question.
Here's the other thing, because I think Swazi is the one who's in his district, and I think he would be like really hard to beat now. But like, he hates Nicole Maliotakis, who's in Staten Island. Would he? My question would be like, would he consider moving to Nicole's district to run against her?
That's a good question too. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
He's accused her of insider trading, by the way.